Ewan McGregor's latest TV project is perhaps one of his greatest roles yet. He portrays a gentleman in Moscow. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my TV review for A Gentleman in Moscow. This is streaming now on Paramount Plus or Showtime. I think they're sort of combined now, but in any event, this is a miniseries, so just 8 episodes, and there will be no follow-up or anything. But this is based on a 2016 novel of the same name by Amor Towles. And yeah, Ewan McGregor, he's done actually a lot of TV. I was thinking, okay, well, he did Obi-Wan Kenobi. They made that into a show from his old Star Wars days, obviously. And I knew he did something recently on Netflix, which was Halston. I had to look that up because I couldn't quite remember. And as I was looking that up, I saw, oh my God, this guy has done so much more TV than I even realized. He did a whole season of Fargo, and he actually got his start in television and a couple of Scottish TV shows in the early 90s. So, look, television feels very much, I think, at home for him, and this is a great way to sort of really get to know his characters beyond just a 2-hour movie. And we'll talk about maybe how that helps or hurts A Gentleman in Moscow here in just a second. First, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are one of my Dan Reviews subscribers already, thank you so much for that. Love having you guys return and check out my videos. But if you're not, please consider subscribing and click that notification bell to get the alerts for all my new videos. And I do try to post just about every day, so there's always a lot to check out here on the channel. Of course, you could like this video or comment below. That stuff helps out as well. All right, so this is a historical drama, but it is non-fiction. Or, well, it's interesting. The events are nonfiction surrounding, but the character never existed. So it's like Titanic in that way. It's fictional characters, but with a backdrop that is very real, and the historical elements throughout are real. And that's what we have here. So Count Alexander Rostov is who Ewan McGregor plays, and this person never existed. But the premise here is, he returns to Russia from Paris, and he spends decades banished to an attic hotel room following the October Revolution, a very real event, after being sentenced to house arrest by a tribunal in Russia. So he spends decades that we see on the screen. I mean, we have the 1920s is where we start, and we go, the last couple of episodes are in the 50s. So we really see the decades go by here, and as such, we have this historical backdrop that is quite real, and sort of fictional characters reacting to real events and that kind of thing. And you also have Mary Elizabeth Winstead here. Love seeing her always. But you'll have Leah Harvey, Johnny Harris, Daniel Sircuria, John Heffernan, who, when I saw that name, I'm like, John Heffernan's like a comedian from Last Comic Standing and stuff. What's he doing here? But it's a different John Heffernan. I think his is spelled Jon. This is John. But he's like a, Shakespearean trained actor. So very, very different. But, yeah, so, but look, Ewan McGregor is the meat and potatoes of this. This really is a wonderful character for him. Like I mentioned up top, this might be one of his great characters of all time. And look, he has some success in films, certainly. But I would say, look, most people probably still remember him as Obi-Wan in Star Wars, Train Spotting maybe. But I mean, we're talking about projects from 25 years ago. Lately, I think he's done more character stuff, sort of one-offs in movies. And he's gotten to play some iconic characters too. Like he played the adult Christopher Robin in the Christopher Robin movie for Disney a few years ago. But I really have to think, because he's done so much of these shows, that he loves inhabiting these characters for longer and extended periods of time. I think that's what draws a lot of movie stars to longer form television, is that they get to explore these characters more. And this is an exploration of a character. To have this person go through decades and all of this different growth while being confined to essentially one building, not one room necessarily. He makes his way around, the hotel, but he is confined there as part of the house arrest. And it is so interesting to see the character explored in that manner. And McGregor does such an excellent job. He was nominated for, I don't know if it was a Golden Globe or an Emmy. I think it was an Emmy. And he didn't win, but the nomination was certainly warranted. And look, maybe other people could have done this character as well. Maybe it would have been a little bit of a different take. But I love the way McGregor just has inhabited this character. And look, I'm not a history buff by any means, so I do get a lot of my history from TV and movies and whatever. But from what I understand, the historical aspect of this as the backdrop is very accurate. Based around all of these true events, and how a person under these conditions would have acted, would have been treated, and on all of that, because of course he was coming from a place of some royalty, and now he's been essentially a prisoner. And I love the space that is explored here and the mindset of this character. I really think this will go down as one of McGregor's great roles. And I like Ewan McGregor. I'm not trying to slight him and say, that his movie career, was stalling or whatever. I don't even think it's that. I really believe that McGregor seems like the kind of guy who really likes to sink his teeth into a character, and there's a lot that you can't do with that in an hour and 40 minutes or whatever. He also did the series Wrong Way, what was it called? Long Way Down or something? It was like the motorcycle travelogue show. That was a docuseries. He was himself. And I saw a couple episodes of that. And I don't know, he just seems like a cool guy. But there's almost none of McGregor in this role. He doesn't look like Ewan McGregor. He doesn't sound like Ewan McGregor. So look, I've obviously talked a lot about the performance here. So maybe one of the downsides is it does possibly go on too long. I talk about that all the time with these miniseries. Maybe 6 hours would have sufficed over 8, but I do think this deserved more than just a 2-hour movie. So I like that they did make it into a miniseries. I do think it gets maybe, I don't want to say repetitive, but I think there are certainly things that you could have maybe sliced out, because I think we get the point at some point. But I like that we've gone all through the decades here with this, exploring all of that too. I mean, you're talking at the end, it's the 50s, so we started the Cold War and all of that. So this is a very, very interesting series. It's not something that I would typically gravitate towards, but my parents were loving it. And as I'm trying to catch up on my 2024 shows, I saw this and I'm like, you know what, I should check that out. And I'm glad I did. I think this is a very, very solid mini series. I believe A Gentleman in Moscow with a B+. And you can check this out now, like I said, on Paramount Plus and Showtime. All right, well, thank you so much for watching Dan Reviews It, and I'll see you next time.